everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Two for Two podcast, your sports podcast for the culture by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Keith, and I'm here with my co-host, Nell, and we got a lot to get into today, man. So sit back and enjoy it with us. We got season 3, episode 7. Nell, we're here again, baby. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Another week, another win.
Another week, another win. You see, we both sporting the white jerseys for our respective teams, man. We went 2 for 2 again
I
this
don't know
week.
how this keep happening.
Come on, hey, we on the
I don't know
streak,
how
bro.
we
We on the streak now. How long do you think this can happen, man? How long
probably,
do you think we got another week?
it's probably the last one, brother.
You think
Sorry to break
so?
it to you. It's probably the last one.
Wow, who y'all play this week?
Oh, we got a bye week. We got the Cardinals coming up, so we
Ah,
good. We
you
gonna get
said-
we gonna get our third win.
okay. So as you can see, folks, Nell is already starting off the pod saying that my team is going to lose. But let's start. Let's recap a little bit now. How do you feel about y'all's game? Played the Jets. Um, Zach Wilson. You guys went against that defense, man. What are your takeaways from this week's victory now?
Yeah, it was what it was. The Jets. We understand with Aaron Rodgers being out, they just aren't the team that we thought could contend for a Super Bowl. So immediately, you understand coming in already with a banged up offensive line, it was going to be a long day for Zach Wilson.
Mhm.
Michael Parsons was, once again had a crazy game. 2 sacks, forced fumble, just constant pressure on Zach Wilson, who was only 12 to 27 throwing the ball. So Dak was good, 31 to 38. Really liking, Mike McCarthy, being a play caller, liking the way he's been calling the game first couple games of the season. One thing that I will nitpick at is their red zone offense. I think they've been kicking a lot of field goals, getting down in the red zone, but kicking field goals at the end. They were the best red zone team last year.
Right.
They scored 71% of the time. It's only been 2 games, but so far this year, just 50%. So I like to see their red zone offense get a lot better as the season goes on. But other than that, can't complain. Defense is balling out. They're running the ball well. So everything's good in Dallas right now.
Yeah, man. Dallas is y'all look pretty good, bro. I mean, like you said, it's not much to expect for the Jets, going against you all's defense without Aaron Rodgers. It's not the storyline in the game that everybody was expecting. But y'all you don't control that, right? You play who's on your schedule. You're 2-0. I mean, that's all you can ask for. It's the best you can possibly be after two
And it's
weeks.
not it's not like they're struggling against these teams. In
Right.
the past, Dak turning the ball over, defense not getting stops. They will find a way to have this game be closer than it should be.
Right.
70-10 outscoring the opponent's first 2 games. So I like the way they're beating down on competition that they're supposed to be down on. So I mean,
Right.
it's gonna get. I'm interested to see. Obviously, they got a bye week against the Cardinals coming up. I forget who they play after that. But they got the. I think they play the Patriots after, and then after that they got the Niners, Chargers, Rams, Eagles. So competition gets a lot tougher, and we'll see what
Yeah.
this team's really made of.
Yeah, it'll get tougher throughout the season. It's a grind. Everybody always says it's a grind. But like we said, man, 2-0 is a great place to start. And we'll go across the way to my 2-0 Buccaneers, man. A big win over the Chicago Bears. I kind of feel how you feel. The Bears aren't that great. They were a team that a lot of people were high on. They thought, Justin Fields was going to take the next step. They had enough weapons around DJ Moore and the defense. They added some guys in free agency. Thought they would look a little bit better. Reality is the Bears are still the Bears. However, kind of to your point, wanting to see your team not struggle. The Bucs were not projected to be a great team this year for everybody. So for us to go out there and kind of win the game handily,
And they still won't be a great team, everybody.
and everybody keep waiting. All right, y'all keep waiting. Y'all keep hating. I got pictures for y'all. Look, I can't wait till we get to later in this episode, man, because Nell says the 2-0 is 2 for 2 is where we're going to end. And I just don't think so, man. Our offense is clicking. Baker Mayfield, the biggest thing I see, he's not turning the ball over. That's what I said. I came on here in my preview. I said if he can just not turn the ball over, we have chances to win. In NFL, the team that wins the turnover margin usually wins the games. And that's on my other flip side of my defensive takeaway is that our team is taking the ball away. 2 interceptions against the Bears. Defensive line looks great. Devin White, who requested a trade earlier in the summer, coming back saying he doesn't know what he was thinking. And that means a lot to me. That looks good. That means that we got some swagger going. I think our team is really starting to build. Mike Evans, man, we got to pay Mike Evans. I'm telling you, pay Mike Evans. It has to happen. He's really earning his money. Him and Baker's connection look really good. Um, he just turned 30. He looks like he's 25. So the Bucs are riding high, man. They're 2-0. Got the 2-0 Bucs, got the 2-0 Cowboys.
Dare I say Baker is bacon?
Baker is baking, man. It's we got to get a better thumbnail. I want the Baker Bacon thumbnail on this one. So I'm gonna have to talk to Walt about that, man. Because my boys are earning it. So a great week two
It,
for
it
me.
helps when you playing a team like the Bears and they running the same exact play 3 plays in a row. It
Hey,
helps.
somebody gets paid a lot of money to call those plays, bro. I don't know. We don't look, y'all can't control who y'all play. We can't
God is
control.
good to them.
Hey, I'll take it, man. Shout out to Shaq Barrett. For getting the pick six, man. Commemorating his daughter as well. But that's a great start for us, man. 2-0 for the Bucs, 2-0 for the Cowboys. We'll see how it goes in week 3. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But we're gonna go look at our game of the week. Last week we had the Ravens versus the Bengals as our game of the week, where the Ravens edged out a 27-24 score. I'm pretty sure that was what I said. I know that's what I said.
You
So
sure
don't
about
even I, I said it was a 3-point victory. I might have said 24-21. I might have said 27-24. But you picked the Bengals. Nell,
that?
what are your thoughts on the game, man? The Bengals are 0-2. Ravens pull out the W. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Bengals look cooked. I did pick them to get to the Super Bowl. I'm just gonna have to hold that one.
Take that L.
Uh, Burrow and that calf. That might just be a lingering thing all season. It seems to be bothering him. I mean, that's no excuse for the way he's looked on the field, and they looked a little bit better against the Ravens, but still, I mean, it took them about a half to really get clicking. Higgins had a big game.
Yeah.
They're not Burrow and Chase aren't really on the same page this year. My fantasy team is struggling because of it. So they're just not as explosive offensively as we all expected them to come in to be. But Burrow's been dealing with that calf, missed all the preseason. Now, he's dealing with that again. So he's questionable for Sunday. And that's not good for them because, I don't even know who their backup is.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're already off to 2-0 and 2 start. So
Yeah.
uh not good things coming from the Bengals side, but Ravens did look good. I mean, they're not like blowing me away with how well they're playing, but I mean,
They're doing
they're
enough.
yeah, they've always been good with Lamar Jackson. They've always been able to run the football, play defense, be well coached. So I mean, I haven't really just seen anything from the passing game that makes me go, wow, this team is really different and got a different vibe to them. I mean, maybe we'll see as the season goes along. Odell's still working his way in. Uh, but they so far 2-0, 2 wins on the road too. Defensively, they look pretty good, and then they've got some injuries too. But they still come out with you know 2 big wins. So so far so good, but not for my Bengals though, man.
Yeah, your Bengals, man, Joe Burrow's got an injury. They look a little bit out of sync, with the injury to Aaron Rodgers, who had a similar calf injury. Does that you think that puts a little fear into Joe Burrow? You think he's, maybe thinking about it a little too much? And overall, like you said, this is a Super Bowl prediction. Your Super Bowl prediction was the
You don't
Bengals
have to
would
you
make it.
don't have to keep bringing that up.
Okay, I'm sorry. But they're 0-2. So what's your stress level now? I think looking at it, man, I'm pulling up the rest of their schedule along the way, man. I'm trying to find where they can maybe break ground. We know it's a team that has the talent to compete with anybody. Next week they're on Monday night against the Rams, followed by 2 games against the Titans and then the Cardinals. So what's your stress level looking at them now at 0-2? Looking at I gave you 3 games that they got coming up. So what's your stress level in Cincinnati? Also taking into account Joe Burrow is not Joe Burrow right now.
Yeah, it's pretty high. I guess if we're going to 1 to 10, I'm like a 9 right now.
Wow.
Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I mean they've gotten off to slow starts before, but
Yeah.
this just kind of feels different. Um, they're struggling a little bit defensively. That's somewhere they've been pretty like top. They've had like a top 10,
Yeah.
15 defense the last 2 years. Um, but we just haven't really seen the explosive plays out of Burrow, and that offensive line isn't great. Mixon's been okay, but they're not a team that when you face the Bengals, you're kind of worried about their run game. And for some reason Burrow and Chase just haven't connected this year. And that injury, if that lingers for an entire season, and Burrow never truly feels the way he's used to playing, the Bengals just won't be the team that I expected them to be. So I'd be pretty worried about it if I was a Bengals fan.
So Nell's at a 9 on the stress level, man. We're gonna monitor that. The Cincinnati Bengals, man, typically a team that we're not worried about. The last few years they've really shown improved. Walt got on here and said he wasn't high on the Bengals. Maybe he might have been on to something. I've been talking to a lot of people that are thinking in that AFC North division, man. That the Browns after last night might be headed for the basement. But if not, man, the Bengals are competing for that spot as of now. That'll be something that we'll keep up with, man. We had some other great finishes last week. We had the Giants pull off a 21-point comeback over the Cardinals. Saved Nell. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to
Saved
think.
my parlay.
It's crazy to think. The Giants were in a dogfight with the Cardinals, but Danny Dimes, man, 21-point deficit that they overcame, and they kicked the field goal to win it. We also had the Broncos and Commanders, which went down to the wire as well, with a Hail Mary pass that was completed as
Crazy
time
finish.
expired by
All that
Russell
just to
Wilson,
still lose.
just to lose,
Catching a Hail
not
Mary
get a
just to
2-point
lose.
conversion.
Crazy.
Now, outside of those games or anything about those games that caught your attention, or were there any other games around the NFL that you were like, okay, that was nice?
Yeah, Chargers Titans was a fun game. That was a good one. I went to OT. Lion Seahawks was a fun game.
Yep.
Golf pick six in the fourth quarter, comes right back, ties the game up. OT, Ty Lockett, walk off touchdown. Yeah, it was a crazy Sunday, man. It was a lot of
Yeah.
ups and downs for me. It's like I said, man, for financial reasons, I was pulling for the Giants. I don't think I ever been more happy for a Giants
Right.
win as a Cowboys fan in my life. They won me a lot of money, so
And we
they
said
made
this
me work
week,
for it.
right? And we said this week that it was going to be a lot of tough games. Maybe not, big teams against, not a lot of storylines, but every game had a potential to be solid. And week 2 definitely did not disappoint. Nell walked out.
And they were
Walked
down
away.
28-7.
You was about to chalk them.
I could have jumped off a bridge.
Oh
I was
Lord.
like, this should have been
Yeah.
guaranteed,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Now you calling the Cardinals a bye week, man. So, hopefully
Oh
the
yeah,
Cardinals.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it was the Giants. Let's not forget what we did to the
Okay, I was
Giants
gonna
the week
say
before.
you talking about we're not gonna go 2 for 2 or 2 for 2 is where we end. We're not gonna go 3-0. Your team is on alert now, man.
No, they're not.
If nothing else, the Cardinals have given 2 teams back to back a little scare. It's about time
Two
y'all get one.
trash teams.
Okay, I'll let you have that, man. We're gonna move right along, man. Before we wrap up week 2, we got some overreactions that we pulled up, man. Our boy Uncle Shay Shay says Zach Wilson can't play dead in a horror movie. Is that an overreaction, or do you feel that way after watching him against your team? How do you feel?
Unc might be telling the truth with that one. I might
Man,
have to side with
I
Unc on
think
that one.
think Unc right, man. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't see it, bro. I think he just doesn't have it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of what it all boils down to. I also think now there's too much pressure on him. It was always pressure. The New York media is what it is. He was what, number 2 pick,
yeah.
high expectations, and he never lived up to them. All right, he gets a little break. I can learn under Aaron Rodgers. The GOAT is hurt, as he said, or whatever. Aaron Rodgers is out. Now he's back in. He's back in play. It's all back on him again, and he's just not looking the part early. On top of the fact that now Aaron Rodgers trying to say that he got this new innovative surgery to have him back for the playoffs. So now there's pressure on him. Now you got to get him to the playoffs, Zach Wilson. And right now, I just don't think he has it, bro. I think
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah, that's
good
not
guy,
happening.
but no.
I mean, he won't face a lot of defenses like Dallas defense this year, but you can just see that he's not really seeing the ball, seeing the field well. When he gets out the pocket,
Yeah.
it's even worse because that's when he starts turning it over. Uh, it takes Garrett Wilson having to take a slant 80 yards or tip drill to himself in the
Right.
end zone because he can't throw a back shoulder fade. So it's just going to be a struggle for the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers can try to get ready for the playoffs, but
They're not gonna
something
be
tells me
there.
by the time we get halfway through the season, he'll see that the playoff chances pretty much slim
Yeah.
to none.
Yeah, that'll be done. I don't want Aaron Rodgers doing that to himself, man, getting his hopes up. I don't think he's gonna carry I don't think Zach Wilson can get the job done. The Jets are just gonna have to, try again next year, man. It was a lot of hype. It was great, but we already talked about it, man. It's just not gonna happen. Not with Zach Wilson. There's a couple backup quarterbacks maybe that they might make a run for, but I don't know if anybody's moving the needle um, that much for the New York Jets. Our second overreaction. Tell me if it's an overreaction or do you think it's truth? We got this from Instagram, everybody. Bleacher Report pulled it up, so we're gonna ask y'all about a couple, or ask Nell about a couple. The first one being Zach Wilson, but our next one is Justin Herbert, the next Matt Stafford. They said that he puts up elite numbers, but he has no clutch wins, and overall, he's just kind of mid results. What do you think?
I mean, like first of all, well, it might be a bit of an overreaction right now. Still early in the season. I mean, the offense is putting up numbers. Say what you want. Defensively, that's the Chargers' real problem been this season. But I mean, comparing him to Matt Stafford, I mean, he does have a Super Bowl. So I mean,
Yeah,
if
right.
his career followed Matt Stafford's and Herbert gets the ring, I think he'll take that. So what if you're trying to say that's a shot?
Yeah, right.
I think he'll take that Super Bowl ring like Matt Stafford. But
And also Matt Stafford wasn't on nearly as good of a team when he was with the Lions.
yeah,
Most times Matt Stafford was out there trying to make it happen. When he had Calvin Johnson, it was great. Calvin Johnson retired, it got even worse. And like you say, he ended up with a ring. So I mean, I don't think Justin Herbert is at that level. Um, I understand, good numbers, but they don't win. It's tough. It always comes back down to that. Wins is a win a quarterback stat or not? Is it something else? I don't think Justin Herbert's doing anything where he's just flat out like we talk about Zach Wilson. We're like, oh my God, this guy's holding his team back, right? Yes, that's evident. I don't think
yeah,
we ever look at Justin Herbert and we're just like, yo, this dude sucks, or like, oh, he's why the Chargers can't. It's not Justin Herbert. It might be a few decisions that he could have made better here and there, but he's got it. I keep saying his coaching over there. There's got to be some because they got too much time to continue to go 0 for 2. But I think we need to pump the brakes, man. Trying to downplay both Matt Stafford and Justin Herbert. Herbert's not he's not gonna be mid forever, hopefully. And if he comes over the championship, like you said, now Matt Stafford's not a bad comparison anymore.
yeah. I think most players will take that Super Bowl ring.
I don't think people. I think overall, as fans, people are starting to forget like how hard it really is to win in the NFL. This is the highest uh level of football that you can play at. You're playing against guys that are you got Micah Parsons running around on teams. You know what I'm saying? You got like it's not easy to be a quarterback. This is my last time giving y'all love today, by the way.
Nah, keep it coming.
No, no, no. I saw your lip quiver. You got excited. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. Uh, but yeah, this we just gotta remember it's a hard league to win in. It takes a lot of time. Justin Herbert's been in the league for what, 3 years now? Um,
yeah. He's still young.
yeah,
I mean,
he's
they
he's
made
he's
the
not
playoffs last year.
right.
When they just had a bunch of injuries. So I mean, it's still early. They've got time to turn some things around, but uh, what they've got to get better at is stopping teams from scoring. That's
Yeah,
been their problem. They've been giving up a bunch of big plays, passing in the passing game, and not just from Tyreek Hill and Tua. I mean Tannehill.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
the one that won them that game in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Not Derrick Henry. He was making all the plays. So their defense has been the issue down in LA.
Right. That's what I was feeling. That's how I feel about it. It's not on Herbert. They're gonna have to figure something out defensively to get that going. But I think everybody just pump the brakes on the overreactions on Herbert, man. We can talk about Zach Wilson, but Justin Herbert's not there. There was some more overreactions, but we'll kind of touch on them as we go throughout. So there's no need to pull them up. But we're gonna flip the script to our new segment, freshly made for today's episode: Sleep or Wake. We're gonna look at the 2-0 teams now, real quick. One liner: Are you sleep or you all in on these 2-0 teams? I'll go down the list, man. So we're gonna start off with the Baltimore Ravens. Are you sleep or you awake?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm sleeping on them.
Okay.
I'm sleeping on the Ravens. Like I said, it's kind of the same old Ravens. I haven't seen really, I guess, the electricity. Like
Right.
Lamar's been good, but he hasn't really been,
Yeah.
MVP-ish, electric. Like he had 55 rushing yards, but not really lighting you up with his arm or his legs yet. So I'm still, what's Odell going to be like for the full season? So I'm still pumping the brakes on them, even though they're off to a nice start.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stay. I'm awake. I'm for the flip of what you just said. 2-0, despite what they look like right now, just getting it done. I think they're just getting started. We got to remember Lamar didn't play a lot last year, and it's a relatively they got a lot of new pieces on that offense. They just lost a running back, so I'm gonna say you pump the brakes, man. You need to wake
All
up a
right,
little bit
all right.
now. The Ravens, they gonna get it done. But next we got the Miami Dolphins. Sleep or awake?
Oh yeah, I'm awake on
Yeah,
them.
I think we
I'm
both awake
sold.
on the Dolphins. Yeah.
Uh, Tua and Tyreek Hill looked electric in week one, and a tough game in New England against a good defensive team. Tyreek Hill didn't light it up, didn't run around and give out a deuces
Right.
uh, in New England, but they were still able to win the game. Raheem Mostert had a good game, so I like what I'm seeing from the Dolphins so far.
Yeah, I'm right with you, man. We don't need to beat a dead horse. If you can score the ball like them, if you're as fast as them, to me, you always got a shot. As long as Tua's taking care of the ball, I think I saw something that said he gets the ball out in like 1.2 seconds. Like now you can't even touch him. You know what I'm saying? So if you're getting the ball out that fast and guys that can make play on the back end, like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, um, I'm definitely I'm rocking with the Dolphins, man. Our next one, this one we might finally both be asleep. The Washington Commanders, 2-0. Started off the season against two pretty weak opponents, but they got a big win. Nonetheless, it's hard to win in the league. Like I said, are you sleep or you awake?
Yeah, I'm sleeping on them, like you said. Easy schedule. I mean, it's the Commanders.
Yeah, not shout out to Eric B. Over there, got them boys averaging what 35, I think, a week. It's good for them. 2-0 is great. Their defensive line is what it is, but I think we both sleep on them, man. The Commanders are the Commanders. Sorry, Commanders fans. Maybe next week. Win another one and we'll talk. The New Orleans Saints. Sleep or awake?
I'm sleeping on them.
They don't look that good
Defensively,
though. They don't look that good.
defensively, they're stacked for
Right,
sure.
right.
But I'm not really I'm not really liking what I'm looking at offensively. They got some nice weapons. Olave is a great player. Michael Thomas, not looking like Slant Boy from 2016, but still looks like an effective receiver. Maybe things will be a lot better once they get Alvin Kamara back from his suspension. But I'm not sold on their offense yet. But defensively they're great. They play in a trash division, so they're gonna win games. They got the easiest schedule in football this year. It's
Yeah.
like they're gonna win games, but like, am I really awake on them as being a threat to have a deep playoff run? Nah, I'm asleep on that one. Excuse me.
Yeah. I'm right with you. At least until Alvin Kamara gets back. I like what you said. Maybe he opens up the offense. But what I've seen, Derek Carr doesn't look that great. I understand that, it's a new team or whatever, but I don't really like the Saints anyway. So we're just gonna say we sleep on the Saints. This one is already know how this is gonna go. The Dallas Cowboys. Are we sleep or we awake now? What you think? It looks like you awake.
Well, man, we wide awake for that one, baby.
Wide awake. I think
Here, I mean,
we both
I ain't got
awake.
nothing else to say.
Yeah,
You
we
know
don't
what them
even need
boys
to.
get into.
I think these last four we're gonna both be awake on, but we'll see. What about the Philadelphia Eagles? 2-0, defending NFC champs. I think we
Yeah.
both awake on them.
Yeah, we awake. We
All
awake.
right,
Jalen
bet. Here we
Hurts.
go.
They've been there before. They got them two dogs in the middle.
Yeah,
Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Yeah, they're
yeah.
for real.
All right. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna wait. My eyes are open. You see that?
I
I'm
see.
listening. You see them waves too? Hold on. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm sleep on the Bucks.
Nell sleep on the Bucks. I'm obviously not.
Sorry.
We just gonna
What are
we
you
gonna let
awake on?
huh?
What are you awake on?
You just said it about the Saints. Weak division, pretty weak schedule. We got the best quarterback in the NFC South. We got the best defense in the NFC South. We got the best receiver in the NFC South. Our biggest problem is the offensive line stinks. Thank you. And
Still
lastly,
sleeping, but I
that's
mean,
fine. Sleep. I'll get you a pillow.
you got it.
Next week when the Bucks win, I'm gonna bring a pillow on here, hand it to you.
All
But don't
right.
even worry about that. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that
I'll
later.
accept it.
Lastly, the San Francisco 49ers. Are we awake or are we sleeping on Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I'm awake on him. I was a little skeptical of Brock Purdy coming in, but he's
Yeah,
playing mistake-free football.
yeah.
They're leading the league. McCaffrey's leading the league in rushing. Ayuk, Debo, you never know which week who's going to give it to you. A great offensive line. Defense has been playing out of their mind to start the season. So, yeah, they're for real.
Yeah, I told you I'm not high on Brock Purdy, but right now he's proving me wrong. I'm gonna say I'm awake on the Niners as well. I think they have one of the better rosters, the better composed rosters in the NFL. As long with that coaching staff, they got a good veteran presence over there on both sides of the ball. I think the Niners are definitely not a team that you should sleep on, man. So that's that. We got a few teams that we're sleeping on. We got a couple teams that we don't agree with per se, but we'll monitor that as we move forward, man. It's time to get into week 3 now. Big games of the week. So we got a list that we came up with. So we're gonna talk a little bit about each of them. We're gonna start with Thursday night. We got the Niners that we just talked about versus the New York Giants. Let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game. Obviously, Saquon going down late in the fourth quarter against the Cardinals, got that ankle injury. Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to play this Thursday. So,
Said he might be a game time.
I mean, we'll see.
I
We'll
doubt he
see.
plays though. Doubt he plays on the short.
Uh, it'll be a huge help because their offense needs it. Daniel Jones did look a lot better in the second half against the Cardinals, using his legs, getting out the pocket, kind of looking like the team people thought they would be coming into the season. But without him, it's going to be. It was already going to be, a tough game against the Niners. They run like we talked about McCaffrey leading the league in rushing. Giants haven't been great against the rush this year, giving up 4.6 a carry. 49ers lead the league in yards per carry at 5.6. So uh, expect them to run all over the Giants. I expect the Niners, to win this game kind of pretty easily. It's going to be a tough one. Daniel Jones is going to have to use his legs and make a lot of plays out of the pocket because that pass rush is going to be coming all night. Pause.
Not 2 weeks in a row.
I'm sorry, I couldn't just not say it after that.
I'm right with you though, man. I think the Giants, especially without Saquon, it's gonna be a real hill to climb, especially considering how they looked against you all's defense. I think the Niners has the potential to get like that as well. The defensive player of the year, Nick Bosa over there, along with that secondary. It's gonna be a tall order for Daniel Jones. I mean, they're getting their fair share of battles out the way. But I think the Thursday night game is definitely going to go into the favor of the 49ers. I just don't think the Giants have enough yet. And they still got to show me something. I thought they would bounce back a little bit better coming off y'all's embarrassing loss, but they end up in another dogfight. So I'm not, maybe it might not be the Giants here. You might have been right all along and said it
Told
was,
you.
what I'm saying? You might have been right. I can give you that. Our next game that we're looking at, we got the Bears, the 0-2 Bears versus the 1-1 Chiefs. The Chiefs last week, they just got back. Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. Kelce was on a snap count, but the Chiefs looked a little bit better. The Bears are a team. We want to like them, but it's not happening. How you feel about this game, Nell?
Yeah, I want to see the Chiefs can get something going offensively. You talked about Kelsey coming back, being on a snap count. And obviously, he just kind of wasn't himself, not the usual Travis Kelsey that we're used to seeing. We did see Sky Moore make some plays and get a touchdown, but offensively, they're still just not putting up points in the way that we're used to seeing the Chiefs be able to go up and down the field. Luckily for them, it looks like they might have a top five defense this year, especially with Chris Jones being back. He had a 40% pass rush win rate on Sunday, which is like just crazy. Had six pressures. So, I mean, you add him back into the fold and holding that. I mean, we thought the Jags offense was, going to be
They
pretty
did
good
real
coming
well.
into the season. And,
Yeah.
they pretty much manhandled them, held Calvin Ridley to two catches. So, luckily for them defensively, they're playing out of their mind. And if the offense kind of starts to catch up, KC might find themselves right back in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I'm curious to see how they look. Uh, it is with Pat Mahomes. It always seems like one of those. It just has to happen eventually type deals. And we'll see. The Bears will be a definite team that you can get rolling. Just gave up 300 plus yards passing to Baker Mayfield and my Buccaneers. Uh, I'll be curious to see how was it Tremaine Edmonds, who they just picked up a middle linebacker over in the offseason, looks against Travis Kelce. That'll be his assignment. So we'll see, man. But definitely interesting to see how the Chiefs will do this week. Our next game of the week, or game that we're gonna watch, we got the Bears, or not the Bears, excuse me. We got the Falcons versus the Lions, two upcoming teams. We got young Desmond Ritter, Bijan Robinson over there with the Falcons. They looking all right. And then you got the Lions, who are 1-1, came off of a close loss to Geno Smith and the Seahawks, man. How you feeling about that one, Nell?
Yeah, that should be interesting. Falcons off to a surprising 2-0 start. Bijan has looked every bit the player people expected him to be. And when it comes to the Falcons, it's all about the run
We
game for
forgot
them.
him, Nell. We forgot to put him in our sleeper awake. I guess that gives y'all our answer on the Falcons.
Well, yeah, I'm sleeping on them.
All
Yeah,
right, cool.
yeah,
Bet. Well, we
yeah,
gotta talk about it
yeah, all
then.
right.
All right, cool. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead. Continue.
But
Continue.
they've looked good. Nice comeback win against the Packers. Uh, but like if they want to win this game against the Lions, got to be able to run the football. Lions have been solid against the run so far this year. I think coming off that loss uh to the Seahawks, yeah, in overtime. And they kind of had like they kind of just gave that one up. They kind of looked like the old Lions to me.
Yeah.
uh Golf had the pick six. That was the first time he threw an interception in like 300 passes or whatever. Uh, David Montgomery going down didn't help. And then defensively, just unable to get a stop. Uh, I think what didn't Gardner Johnson get hurt as well?
Yeah, he might be out for the
So I
year.
mean,
Torn pec.
yeah. So defensively, now you're compromised even more with him being out. He was looked in to be a leader on that defense, especially in that secondary that started the season really well in Kansas City. Um, so you're going to be put to the test against the Falcons. They don't have to worry about much, in the past game. Ritter
Yeah.
hasn't been lighting folks up, but he's been playing okay. This is their first road game, so it'll be interesting. I think Lions. I don't think the Lions will drop two in a row at home, so
Yeah.
I expect them to kind of bounce back. Golf will probably play turnover free football and get the Lions back in the win column.
Yeah, I think this will be a good game to watch just because it's a lot of young weapons out on the field. Kyle Pitts is always fun to watch. Got Bijan versus Jameer Gibbs. Both of them are going to be heavily featured now, especially with Montgomery out, and the Lions are still trying to figure out how to use Gibbs. But we know he's explosive. Two good, younger quarterbacks. Jared Goff isn't that young, but Desmond Ritter's still showing if he can be the guy for the Falcons. And then the Lions is trying to prove, that they belong. That's going to be a big game. The Falcons want to prove that they can be a contender, maybe make a playoff. I saw something earlier today about, Ritter. He might not have to do too much for the Falcons to get to the playoffs. Just speaking of what you said about, the weaker schedule, division a little bit weaker. So we'll see really how they look against the Lions. The Lions are a little banged up, but they do have the guy with the highest amount of pass rush rate or whatever in the NFL, Aiden Hutchinson. I'm always going to plug my Michigan boys. So that'll be a fun one to watch as well. Then we got a battle of the 0-2s, man. The two unlikely 0-2s, if you will. We got the Chargers versus the Vikings. Both teams 0-2. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I mean, if both teams need a win, right?
Yeah.
Vikings, I don't think anybody's going to necessarily run away with that division. But it's going to be a dogfight. We'll see if the Packers can rebound, but Lions look okay. You don't got to worry about the Bears, and then the AFC, Chargers. I mean, the Chiefs pretty much got that division wrapped up. So, if you're the Chargers, you want to get on the board just to try to get yourself a wild card spot. And I mean, if you're the Vikings, they just got to get off the better starts. I mean, they've yet to score a point
You gotta
in the
stop turning the
first
ball over,
quarter.
man.
Um, they're always playing from behind. I mean, Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson, they've been on fire, lighting it up, to start the year. But they just got to get off the better starts. If they can get off to a quick start against the Chargers, and I mean, Justin Jefferson might go for 200 the way the Chargers have been playing defensively against the pass this year.
Yeah.
They've through 2 games given up the most passing yards in the league. So Justin Jefferson's streak could get 150. I think will most likely continue.
Yeah.
And if you're the Chargers, I mean, they've been putting up points, but they just haven't been finishing games. And you know, I'm thinking about their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, in Dallas, not finishing games because he gets a little too cute sometimes.
Man,
Uh, you
there
know,
it is.
late in that game against the Titans, they're just going bombs deep and, quick 3 and out, give the ball right back to the Titans. And I think that's kind of the thing that Mike McCarthy alluded to, wanting to run the ball and, being smart in certain situations.
Yeah.
I think in the fourth quarter, you just see them kind of outsmarting themselves. So it's all about the Vikings getting off to a quick start, and then for the Chargers, can they actually finish a game? I mean, one thing's for sure: somebody's going to get their first win.
Yeah, somebody's got to get a win. I think the big thing for me is what team can get a stop. Both teams are pretty terrible on defense. The Vikings turn the ball over a little bit more, so that'll be something to monitor. Our next game, we got the Bills versus our 2-0 Commanders. The first real test for the Washington Commanders. Eric Bieniemy and the boys, Ron Rivera, Sam Howell, Brian Robinson, Terry McLaurin versus Josh Allen, who got back on track last week with a big win, a big performance against the Raiders. Actually shocked me. I thought that game would be a little bit closer than it was. But now go ahead, tell me what you got.
Yeah, I think the Bills will win this one pretty easily. I think we both said we were sleeping on the Commanders. Give them a lot of credit though, starting out 2-0, big comeback win against the Broncos. Eric Bieniemy's got them, they scored 35 points for the first time since 2020, which is crazy. So he's doing something right down there. His impact and influence is being shown on the field. But the Bills, I think finally they looked more like the team I think we'll see throughout the season. Josh Allen played mistake-free football. James Cook ran for over 100 yards. If they can run the football and Josh Allen can be efficient, I think they put themselves in that contention, to have a deep playoff run in the AFC and have a chance to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Commanders are gonna make this one ugly. I think that's their main way to win it. They're gonna have to slow the game down, make Josh Allen make some mistakes. But I think at the end of the day, the Bills
And they're tied with Dallas for
yeah,
sacks.
yeah. And
My
I put that D line
my
is
X
crazy.
factor Chase Young had a sack and a half against the Broncos. So
Yeah,
if they can put pressure on him and force him into some mistakes like we saw the Jets do in Week 1, they shown they can stay in games and
yeah.
fight. And so we'll see. Brian Robinson,
Looking
had a
good.
big game against the Broncos. Terry McLaurin, finally caught some passes. So we'll see if they can get some turnovers, they can stay in the game. But Josh Allen is playing mistake free, and especially if they can run the football, which they rarely ever have 100-yard rusher. That's not Josh Allen.
Right.
So for them to get James Cook to do that last week, that was a good sign. Gabe Davis had a good game. When he's spreading the ball around and it's not everything's not just going through Diggs. That's when that offense really flourishes.
Right. And my biggest thing is the Commanders not letting this one get away from them, because they can get, if they get to the point where the pressure's not getting to Josh Allen and he's scoring touchdowns and him and Diggs are connecting, the other guys are playing well, and then the Commanders struggle to score to move the ball on offense, stall out a couple possessions, this one might get ugly real quick. So I'm not saying the Commanders will get blown out, It has potential if they don't, take care of business defensively. But with that D line, there's a chance, man. So, Commanders fans, there's your nice thing for me. It might not get ugly. So we'll see. Win this one, and I'll leave y'all alone, man. But that'll move us to our game of the week, which leaves none other than the Monday night game of the Philadelphia Eagles versus my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Our game of the week, Nell. So I need your synopsis as well
I
as
don't
your
know if I'm with this
prediction.
game of the week, to be honest
What?
with you. I don't know if I'm
Who
with it.
else? 2-0. The battle of the best two teams in the
I mean, you
NFC.
got it, but don't say it's our game of the week. Just say it's yours.
It is my game of
Let's
the
just
week.
be honest.
My tab game of the week that Nell has to put up with. Eagles versus the Bucks Monday night. Nell, tell me what you think, man.
Yeah, the battle of the 2-0 kids, right? Sleeping on the Bucks, awake on the Eagles. I don't think Baker will be baking in this one. Not with those monsters in the middle, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. It's like every stat that I see about defensive tackles, they're like somewhere in the top five. So they've just been dominant up front to start the year. Uh, DeAndre Swift, they got him some carries. I think he only had one carry in the first game. He comes out 175 yards and a touchdown against the Vikings. So if the Eagles run the ball like that, that offensive line just takes over. It'll be pretty tough for the Bucks. I mean, defensively, the Bucks look really stout this year too so far. So if they can force Jalen, who hasn't lit it up with his arm so far this year, if they can hold that run game down and kind of force Jalen to have to make some plays with his arm, maybe they can make it interesting. But I think it's just going to be tough for Baker uh, playing on the road. It's in Philadelphia, right?
No, it's in Tampa.
Damn. Okay.
Otherwise, I'd be right there. Don't worry.
Yeah. So it would be a little more comfortable playing at home, but I think that defensive line is like you already said. Offensive line is an issue for you guys. I think they're just gonna have their way with the Bucks offensive line, and it's just gonna make it tough for Baker to get into a rhythm because when things get tough for him, he hasn't turned the ball over yet, but he hasn't faced a pass rush that's going to get after him like this. Not going to might not have a run game in this one. And you're going to have to make plays with your arm. And I don't know if I trust Baker to do that against this Eagles defense. Sorry.
It's all good, man. Hey, I expected this. This is what I've been hearing all week. This is what we'll hear all week. I'm not saying that you're wrong, though. I mean, it's going to come down to what you just said. Can the Buccaneers protect Baker Mayfield? The Eagles' defense is no joke. That front seven is amazing. They got dogs over there. They make life hard, But I think our defense will do the same. I think it's going to be a much closer contest than people might think. And of course, I'm going with my
I
boys.
got the Eagles minus 16 and a half. Am I drawing? I was going to put that in. Am I crazy for that?
We can end the episode right now. We're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. Eagles versus the Bucks, man. Nell trying to get me off my game. So he knows that gets me real riled up. As long as
I was
Baker,
trying to get increased odds. That's what I'm
I
thinking.
mean,
Like
yeah, that'd be like plus 1,000.
I'm thinking like a 37, 20, 21,
37,
like
21. All right, bet. Keep that
27,
thought.
10, something like
Write it
that.
down.
Like
37 to
27.
10. Actually, keep that one.
No,
37 to
20.
10.
No, I said 37, 20, and then
20.
27, 10. I just need 17. That's all.
Okay, so Nell has this been a 17-point loss for my Buccaneers.
I didn't say that's what I had it at. I'm just saying like
That's what I wrote. I wrote it, so that's what
like
it is. That's our game of the week. Reminder:
possible.
you've gotten each of the last two game of the week predictions incorrect. Just throwing that out there. But anyway, on the flip of what he's
Time
saying,
for
I
me to get
think,
my first win then. That's all that is.
hey, you got to win eventually. Now, I mean, actually, technically, you don't. You could go 0 for 17, which would
Dang.
be crazy. If that happened, bro, the charges to the dual segment is gone. You can't
Sorry.
even. We can't
I
take it
got
away.
my people money this week, man.
Yeah, he did, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I'm gonna say this one's gonna be a close one. I'm a Buccaneers fan. I'm gonna die on that hill. If Baker takes care of the football, if we can make Jalen Hurts turn the ball over just one time, Just one time.
That's it. That's all you need. I think you need like two, three.
We need one. Just one. The Buccaneers will walk out with a 20-17 victory. At
That would
home.
be crazy.
It is. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm telling you, let us win. I'm warning y'all now. If the Bucs win this game, block me, all of you, Philly fans, Cowboys fans, NFL. If you like football and the
My
Bucs win this
Cowboys
game,
fans gotta block you.
just block me because y'all gonna hate me. Y'all gonna hate what I have to say. Before I go too deep on this in this mode, we got
We'll be
Nell
pretty happy
30.
you won.
Nell has a 17-point Philly win. We won't say
Yo,
the
I
score.
didn't say that.
We're
I didn't say
17-point
that.
Philly win. I have 20-17. We'll see what happens. Traditionally, the Eagles cannot guard Mike, the real Mike. But we'll move out of that, man. We'll just leave it there because it's gonna have us on here for 2 hours, man. Charge it to the duel, Nell. Nell made y'all some money last week. Nell made himself some money last week. Go ahead, Nell, take that thing over. What you got? Recap week 2, and then give us your week 3 plays or however you want to break it down for the folks this week.
What did I have week 2? I think I had the Giants, which I mean they won by the skin of their teeth. The Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Saints, and probably the Cowboys, maybe.
Yeah, I think you hit them all.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I like to consider myself just like a money line genius. So I'm gonna just that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna throw my pick 6 at y'all. I'm gonna throw y'all six money line guarantees. I promise you they're gonna hit this weekend.
Okay.
So we got the Bills. We got the Bills over the Commanders.
Okay.
We got the Jags over. I forgot who they played. Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
We got the Ravens over the Colts.
Okay.
We got the Dolphins over. Who did the Dolphins play?
They played the Broncos.
Yeah, we got the Dolphins over the Broncos. We got the Seahawks. Forgot who they play.
Panthers.
Right. Who?
Panthers.
Okay, yeah, easy money. And then we got the Eagles over the Bucks. I mean, it don't get more automatic than
punch
that.
the screen in 2 seconds, man.
Yeah. All right. So then we got the Thursday night game, same game parlay. We're gonna take Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown scorer. We're gonna take him to get 80 yards rushing. We're gonna take Brock Purdy 200 yards passing.
Oh wow.
We're gonna take Debo 40 yards receiving. We're gonna take Christian McCaffrey under 4.5 catches. And then we're gonna take the 49ers money line.
Oh man. What would that yield to people, man?
I mean, $10 get you 100, get you a bean, get you like a bean 10, something light. I mean, if you feeling more risky, I mean, throw 50 on it.
Hey,
get you a little 500.
Hey man,
I mean,
that's good money, folks. Hey, Nell, I like that one. You know, I like it. I think that's easy.
I'm just trying to help.
He stayed away from the Giants. I think that's the Cowboys fan in him. But there's there's Nelly's numbers, man.
And there might be more to come on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Might have a same game parlay with some player props for the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games. They don't come out till like Saturday anyway. You know, we record on Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that. If you want to win some more money, I got
Nelly's got you covered, man.
Yep.
Nelly's numbers, charge it to the duel. He made some money this week. If you're not,
I was ready to retire this segment if the parlay ain't hit.
If it ain't hit, okay. So that's something good. That's something good that we got.
I'm not gonna keep feeding y'all BS. I mean,
all right.
If I'm hot, I'm hot. So
I feel like you prefacing my Quis take of the week, man.
Feeling good.
You prefacing my Quis take. We'll move from the charger to the duel to the Quis take of the week. Last week, Nell forced me to say that the Rams will beat the Niners. I didn't want to say it. I just wanted to say they was gonna put up a fight. I said Puka Nacua and Matt Stafford was gonna come out.
What kind of weak take is that? They gonna put up a fight?
This week's is gonna be better. Just let me get that. I was right. Puka Nacua, 15 catches, dog. Right? The Rams said we don't got Cooper Kupp. We'll just make a new one. We'll just build a new one. They done built a new one.
I drafted Van Jefferson.
You did. That's all right. We already talked about it, bro. the fantasy joints is not for you. You just gotta chalk it after a couple weeks, man. Just start doing the FanDuel thing, and it's all is well.
The FanDuel thing is me.
It is
I
well.
gotta stick in my lane. You're right.
Right. My week 3 take. I'm circling back to them Bucks and them Eagles, man. I got the Chris Godwin jersey, right? I just told y'all that it usually gets tough on that island for them Eagles, man. I got, for the first time this season, 2 100-yard receivers for the Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to throw it around on them boys. My Quis take is both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin will finish the game with 100 yards receiving, and the Buccaneers will win on Monday night.
Let me write that down.
Write it down. Put it to the wall. If y'all asked for a Quis take. Y'all said my first one was weak. Y'all said my second one was weak. So here we go. I'm guaranteeing 100 yards from both Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and a Buccaneers win on Monday night.
Buccaneers win. Woo.
3 for 3. 3 for 3. And if you want to get even crazier, throw Baker Mayfield.
All right. You might need to relax. You might need to relax now.
Cool. We'll leave it at that. That's my key take of the week, man. 200-yard receivers for the Bucs, as well as a win on Monday night. If it happens, just know we won by 17. That's all I have to say. That's gonna do it for that topic.
I hope
man.
not. That's gonna be a ticket killer.
Stop betting against the Bucs. Look,
I took y'all this past.
I know. Nell ain't tell y'all he actually on the sneak took the Bucs last week. Hey, I appreciate you. That's gonna do it for that.
Hyping them up.
Hey, I'm gonna keep hyping them up. We're gonna keep riding and rolling with them until the wheels fall off, man. Even if we lose this week, I'm coming back week 4 with something even crazier, man. We got our last segment of the day, our weekly pick'em. Currently, we are still 2-0. Last week, Nelly picked the Colts to beat the Texans. That happened. And I picked the Bills to beat the Raiders. That also happened. We're 2-0. Nell, you can no longer use the Colts. I cannot use the Bills. Who you got this week? I'm gonna pull my games up.
I'm gonna take the Ravens. I'm gonna take them Ravens.
Right.
Ravens against the Colts. Anthony Richardson a little banged up. You have to start and finish a game. Ravens look good. So yeah, Ravens guaranteed.
Ravens for now. I'm gonna go with. I've been talking a lot of big talk, man. I gotta pick a team I haven't used yet. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I'm gonna go with the 49ers on Thursday night over the New York Giants. I know it's tough to use them now. I'm dwindling it down to where I'm not gonna have many good teams left, but I'm confident in the Niners over the New York Giants on Thursday night. I think they got them a 10-point favorite. Actually, that's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, I'm sorry, Chico, man. Hey, it's charged to my head and on my heart, bro. I'm trying to win this little face off. I need Nell to start.
Y'all trash.
They are trash. He know it, man. They ruined my boy's birthday, or they almost ruined my boy's birthday with that showing, but they pulled it off. So hopefully they don't do that again. Danny Dimes, I don't need you to figure it out now. I'm assuming Saquon's gonna sit, so we're gonna ride with the Niners, and Nell's locked in with the Ravens. Nell,
nice pick.
That's gonna wrap it up for us, man. What you got for us to send us off?
Hey, how about them Cowboys?
That's all right. I'll let that slide, man. That's going to do it for us, folks. We appreciate y'all always sticking with us, sticking by us, tuning in, whether it be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the YouTube, man. Please start to tune into the YouTube as well. You don't want to miss that. It's a little bit better of an experience, but if you only got an opportunity to just listen to it on the road, man, throw the podcast on and listen to us.
Button, subscribe, all that.
Like, subscribe, follow us on socials, man. 2 for 2 Pod, every single place you need to find us. If you go on to Instagram, you can find the link tree that'll take you right to the Spotify. It'll take you right to the YouTube, right to the TikTok, right to the Apple Podcast, right to the Spreaker. It's all right there, man. My boy Walt really holding it down with that on the socials. So please, please, please give us a like, give us a follow, and continue to stick with us. We appreciate you. That's going to do it for us. Episode 7, Season 3. We out.